Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. Today we're going to look at Tuidi techniques required for the EQ. And again, these are techniques that I teach throughout as part of the bunkai, as part of the ranks way before this, but at this point I'm actually looking for them to be included in the testing process, which means they've had plenty of time by then to learn them. Tuidi is derived from the Chinese art Qinna. It has always been an integrated part of the martial arts. Our Tuidi specifically, or Toide, sometimes called Torite, taking hand, grasping hand in Japanese, Okinawan is Tuidi, is derived from the Motobu Ryu Udundi, which is the Motobu family. Choyu Motobu, the eldest brother of Choki, the famous fighter, passed the art down to Uehara Seikichi, who became the first outside of the family inheritor, basically, of the Motobu family system. Master Toma was, for a long time, Uehara's senior student until he asked permission to separate, teach the standard Shorin Kata as part of his curriculum, and teach the gaijin, the foreigners, the Americans that were on the island, which up to that point, even up into the 50s, was very rarely done and only by permission of your instructor. When Toma went to Uehara and said he wanted to do this, Uehara gave him his blessing, but Toma was no longer Uehara's student. From that point, Uehara's Motobu family system, and I had this discussion with Heihurst sensei, hearkened more to the Okinawan dance and became a lot softer and changed significantly from the warrior martial art that it had been up until that point. A lot of people say that Uehara got his techniques from Japanese Aikijujutsu, and there are a lot of similarities. But Qinna, Aikijujutsu, and Tuidi all exist in the same sphere of making someone's joints bend in a way that they're not supposed to bend in order to cause pain, submission, and victory. In Qinna, in addition to the joint manipulation, there's muscle seizing and air and blood restriction, as in chokes and those kinds of things. In Tuidi, we stay mainly to the joint manipulations for locking, throwing, and breaking of the joints. Toma in particular kept the more brutal performance of these in where we spiral somebody to the ground. So it's not a circular hand movement with then linear movements, which tends to be the way in a lot of jiu-jitsu, but and even circular in jiu-jitsu, whereas in Okinawan Tuidi, it's spiral to the ground. So that's the source of our arts. I have with me a very special guest today to come and help me out with these techniques. Mr. Cole Anderson, my good buddy. Yeah, rock it out, man. Okay, onegaishimasu. So I'm going to be showing Cole these techniques, which is about where I would teach them to the classes, so that by the time he gets to first degree brown belt, he will have them hopefully down and ready for performance. So let's move in a little closer for that vision. So the first one we're going to do is I'm going to throw a punch. You're going to step back from here, grabbing the punch here and putting your hand at my elbow. You're going to bend my fist as you step forward toward me, and your step should be close enough. You could elbow my face. You don't have to, but you could. Then you're going to twist, unwind, and drop straight down to your right knee. Exactly. Now you're going to do that on me. I'm not going to do it on you. You're going to do it on me.
Okay.
So my punch comes in. Boom! Stepping back. Good. Push the fist in and up. Step toward me. Oh, there goes the elbow to my face. Cross stance and pivot down. And down I go. Stay there. Now you're going to pull in on my hand and lock my elbow against your body, so that you could break my wrist, but don't. Thank you. You want to try it once a little quicker?
Nope.
No. Okay. First time doing it, but that was good. All right. The next one, instead of stepping back outside my punch, you're going to step forward inside my punch. Now, a key point, this is an important point in Tuidi, is we never stay right in front of the attacker. Okay? Even if I'm grabbing him, and we move on to some of the Tuidi we'll do next week, even if I'm grabbing him around by the body, the shoulders, the neck, the wrist, whatever I'm grabbing, he's not going to stay right in front of me. His first move is to get the middle of his body facing away from the middle of me. So in this one, as I punch from here, you're going to step forward, maybe a hit to the face, come with your right hand and grab the top of my hand. Okay? So here comes the punch. He's going to step forward, boom, grabbing my right on top. Now bring your other hand up under my fist, turn it. Now you can step toward me. Now you're just going to tilt your hands like a drink of water forward, like you're spilling water. Push forward like that. And as I go down, you can take your left hand and pull my elbow as you push on my hand. And that would be enough, okay? So, like that. Okay, it doesn't really take very much, does it?
Oh.
Okay, let's do that one again and get a good grip on my hand and a nice downward twist. Okay, here we go, boom. He steps forward, smack, bang, comes to the fist, turns it up, faces me, uses his elbows to drop down as he twists his hands forward. Yes, sir, thank you. And then if you want, you can come and secure the elbow. Thank you, good. Up. That's number 2. Third one, I'm going to grab your hand like I'm going to punch you, okay? Come across, pull my hand as you roll, and as you roll it, this hand rolls out, pushes against the back of my hand. Use your thumb or just use your whole flat hand. From here, step forward with your left foot toward me, push that toward me. Now pivot around behind yourself and point your thumbs to the floor. And there's the joint lock, okay? In Japanese, this is called kote gaeshi, which is basic wrist lock. And he could, if he really, I'm going to show you how to do real damage here, so be nice. If he really wanted to damage, he could jam my elbow straight to the floor and then push my knuckles and break my wrist. Even a tiny little body, if he dropped his shikodachi and put his hands straight down, he could do me some real damage here. Thank you. Excellent, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cole. That's our first 3 Tuidi, which we will teach at the beginner level. Tuidi manipulations go, and Heiher Sensei and I talked about this, and it's interesting. I was glad to see, even though we don't have a technical curriculum, teach this technique, this technique, this technique, we approach it pretty much the same way. Get the body offline. We start with manipulations of the wrist, then move up to manipulations of the elbow, then up to the shoulder, including throws and shoulder dislocations. Then we go back and there are manipulations on the fingers as well. And then finally, once we have these individual techniques, and I'm just going to manipulate Cole for just a little bit without killing you, okay? Once we have these individual techniques learned, then we learn how to transfer and change them and roll into other applications, combining a chain or a flow drill, if you will, of the Tuidi techniques that we've learned as individual pieces so far. Thank you, sir. Have a seat. That's it for today, those 3 techniques for our Tuidi curriculum. Next week, we'll do a few more. And again, I just require a set number, 6, 12, or whatever, based on each testing level, and then working into the flow drills with them as requirements for my ranking, but as self-defense techniques, they're taught in these individual segments. Thanks again for joining. Until next week, like, share, subscribe, do all the things, leave the comments. I get comments like, oh, that won't work in real life, with people that don't understand the teaching process and how drills are separate from combat and how you have to do the drills to be ready for combat. People don't get that because whatever. If you're somebody who hates the techniques, please put your videos up. I welcome them. Until then, though, the most important thing, as always, is let's keep practicing.